Good morning, dear students. This is Kailas here. We will continue the third part of parts of speech today. Further, we will go. Till now, we have studied about noun, pronoun, adjective, determiner. That was one group. Then second group I told, that is verb and adverbs. Verbs we have already studied in slide presentation number 2. Now today, third presentation I am presenting. In this we will study about adverbs first. You know what is an adverb? The words which say something more about a verb or an action are known as adverbs. In the definition itself or in the word add plus verb, adverbs. So something which is adding to the meaning of the verb, it becomes an adverb. There are several types of adverbs. First, adverbs of time. When you ask question when to the verb, you get the answer. That is the word which is the adverb of time. Normally, the examples are recently, late, now, just, etc. These words show when the action is completed, so they become the adverbs of time. Second is adverbs of frequency. When you ask the question how often to the verb, action word, the word you get the answer, that is known as the adverb of frequency. Examples are once, twice, seldom, often, etc. Third is adverbs of place. When you ask a question where to the verb, the answer you get, it is the adverb of place. Let us see some examples. In, outside, everywhere, nowhere, here, etc. Fourth is adverbs of manner. They answer the question how. You ask a question how to the verb or the action word, the answer you get is known as the adverb of manner. Example, richly, soundly, poorly, slowly, fast, etc. They become the adverbs of manner because they are showing how an action is done. Next is adverbs of degree. They answer the question how much or how little, just like a quantity we can say. Let us see some examples. They are also known as intensifiers. Quite, really, absolutely, rather, etc. The last one is adverbs of modality. They express the opinion or feelings of the speaker. They answer the question of opinion or feeling of the action. Example, hopefully, probably, fruitlessly, etc. I hope you have understood what does an adverb mean and its types. Let us continue. Now, as you have studied the definitions, examples are also important. Let us see them one by one. Examples of adverbs of time. She reached home late. As you can see, the underlined parts will be the adverbs. It shows time. Rahul recently opened a new store. Recently is the adverb of time. Time does not mean specific time, the hours and minutes like that. It can be any word which shows time. Adverbs of frequency. His grandfather seldom goes out. Rarely we can say. Seldom is the adverb. Priyanka has won the award twice. How many times? She has two times. So the twice, the word which twice, one twice. Twice is related with one. Seldom is related with goes. So you can see verb are the verbs. They are shown, and underlined parts they show something more about the verb or tell something more about the verb, so they become the adverbs. Third one is adverbs of place. The dog followed his master everywhere. Where? We can say everywhere. Mr. Reddy is waiting outside. Where he is waiting? He is waiting outside. So everywhere and outside they become the adverbs of place. Next one, adverbs of manner. So how an action is done. My aunt sleeps soundly. Here soundly does not mean with sound. Soundly means without any noise. So you can see language, it has different, the words have different meaning. Sound is a different thing, soundly is a different thing. As you saw, soundly does not mean any sound, it means silently. Sunil performed poorly in his exams. Here poor means we can say one who doesn't have any money. Economically poor we can say, but poorly means badly. Here poorly means badly. So poorly and soundly they become adverb of manner. Next is adverbs of degree. Ami plays the piano quite well. How well? Quite well we can say. Plays quite well. So quite becomes the adverb of degree. We were rather uncomfortable. How much uncomfortable? Rather uncomfortable. I really don't trust him. I really don't trust him. Trust really. It is used for trust. Don't trust him. So really becomes the adverb of degree. Last is adverbs of modality. It will hopefully rain today. Feelings like that we told. Such words are adverbs of modality. It will probably not. He will probably not believe me. You can observe that adverbs come generally after the verb, but it is not a fact we can say, general things. There are always exceptions. It is a general rule we can say, they define the adverb or they tell something more about a verb and they come after the verb, but they can be anywhere in the sentence. You have to find out adverb means ask the question to verb. How a verb is done, when it is done, where it is done, in which way it is done, the feelings, emotions. Like this you can question the verb. The answer you will get will be any adverb, which can be a place adverb, time adverb, manner adverb, degree adverb or adverb of modality. I think you are following nicely. You can write this down, all things in your notebook. Please prepare a fair book so that it is helpful till 10th standard, or these things which you are learning, grammar, it is a basic thing, fundamental. Any standard does not matter here. What matters is how well your English is or how well you can do your English. So you can see this again, all the examples. Let us continue. Now the next topic is conjunction. So two groups you have already discussed. First group I told you is noun, pronoun, adjective and determinal, which are related to noun, so they form a group. Second group we talked about was verb and adverbs. They form the second group. Now we will start the last group and the third group, that is conjunctions, prepositions and interjections. Let us now start with the conjunctions. Conjunctions. This word is familiar. See the pronunciation. Many students make mistake conjunction, but junk, the word in between is J-U-N-C, junk. So C, that is pronounced as K. So proper pronunciation is conjunctions. Conjunctions. That K sound should be there in between. Please note this. Now you are familiar with conjunctions. They are the words that join two words, two phrases, two clauses, or two sentences. Conjunctions can be a single word like and, but, so, etc. They can be compound words like so that, as if, even though, even if, etc. They can be correlative words. Correlative means one that two words are given. Suppose so that, so is with one part and that is with another part. These are known as correlatives. Two things, they both, each one is divided between the two given words, phrases, clauses, or sentences. So that this does not come at a time. Compound words, so that it comes at a time, but so that as a correlative it comes at different places. This is the difference between compound words and correlative words. So dash dash that, such dash dash that, either dash dash, or neither dash dash nor. They are at different places but in the same sentences. Thus they are known as correlative words. So conjunctions can be of three types. It can be a single word, and, but, so, etc. It can be compound words, so that, as if, even though, even if, etc. It can be correlative words like so dash 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 that, such dash 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 that, either dash dash dash, or neither dash 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 nor, etc. I hope you are following. Now conjunctions are mainly of two types. You have already heard this word, coordinating conjunctions. What is coordinating? It generally joins two things of equal, same, or similar ranks, or of same category. There is no contrast. The meaning carries on further. We can understand that this thing will happen after this, like that. So joins equal, same, or similar ranks or categories. This is known as coordinating conjunction. They usually join independent clauses. He is honest, he is intelligent. These two sentences are independent sentences, but when we join them, we can use he is honest and intelligent. Means he is honest also and intelligent also. Thus this becomes of same rank, and hence it is added by and, or it is joined by and. Thus it becomes a coordinating conjunctions. They worked hard, they did not succeed. They worked hard, but they did not succeed. Second is subordinating conjunctions. What does it do? Joins an independent and one or more dependent clauses. So coordinating of same or similar rank, but here and two clauses, independent clauses, are joined by coordinating, but you can see the difference in subordinating. There is an independent clause also, there can be one or more dependent clauses also. He ran fast, he did not win the race. This can be written as although he ran fast, he did not win the race. Now let us separate these two parts, although he ran fast and he did not win the race. Which one is we can say complete with complete meaning? Although he ran fast or he did not win the race? As you can see, he did not win the race, it makes complete sense. But although he ran fast, if I say this one, you think there is some meaning remaining, some concept is not clear, or there is something missing. In such case, this is known as an dependent clause. So here there is an independent clause also and there is a dependent clause also. When dependent clause comes before the independent clause, or a sentence starts with a dependent clause, there is a comma between the dependent and the independent clause. But if independent clause comes first and dependent clause comes afterwards, there is no comma in between. Just note this important point. It is very necessary to learn punctuations also, that we will be dealing afterwards. She was not feeling well, she remained absent. She was not feeling well, so she remained absent. Now, if I bifurcate this, one sentence is she was not feeling well. Second is so she remained absent. If I bifurcate or think differently, she was not feeling well is one sentence, so she remained absent becomes another part of the sentence. Which one is dependent and which one is independent? If you see, so she remained absent, the meaning is not clear concept, something is remaining, like that we feel. But when we read she was not feeling well, that is in itself a complete sentence with a meaning, it makes complete sense. So she was not feeling well is an independent clause, so she remained absent is the dependent clause. Independent clause and dependent clause. Here you can see there is no comma, as the conjunction, or we can say subordinating conjunction so is in between the two. If the sentence is started like this, so I think you have understood today's lesson. Please note down all the points. These are very important types of sentences: simple, compound, complex, etc. You are going to learn further, which is compulsory. It always comes in the transformation. So do write down this all the points and go through them again and again. Try to implement the things which you have learned. Go through the text. If you have books, study them. Often you should go through these things. It is not the thing to by heart, actually grammar is the thing to understand. Just as in maths we have formulas and methods, in the grammar also same things are there. Lessons are not new every time. If you study indirect speech in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, points are same, method is same, process is same, only the level changes. So please go through all these things once again, write down, prepare a fair book as far as possible. These things will be helpful in the years to come, till you are learning English or till you have not learnt English. Goodbye, have a nice day, take care.